Hi everyone, how's it going? Clifton here with another video. Before we get into the main topic, which is about in real life IRL streaming, I wanted to explain to you my specific use case for what I do, street photography or point of view street photography. Basically a way for me to show my viewers how I take photos. The streaming camera needs to be light, needs to be portable, attached to my chest in my case. Sometimes other streamers will have it on their shoulder, and then I bring my other camera, my main photography camera, which is the Sony a7 III, into view, and my viewers can see how I'm composing a shot. So a larger camera attached to me might not work. Something like
another full frame camera.
Maybe it could work. I mean, the video quality would be better, but for me, I'm wanting to use components, things that I have already without having to spend more money. Also, this is a broad overview in terms of what I've got. I'm covering mainly the physical gear that I have when I go out and do these streams. There's more components to that, such as software on 2 different phones. There's what I have in the studio or office back home. So these other areas I'm going to get into in separate videos because there's kind of like a whole ton of stuff that I have to cover. So broad overview for today, and then we'll expand on that. If you're not doing POV street photography, maybe you could apply what I do to a little bit of what you do. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. In today's video, I thought I'd go over my streaming setup, how I do what I do when it comes to IRL streaming in particular. I've had people asking me, what does my setup look like? So I thought I'd put this video together. I basically had to work with what I've got. I think this should be achievable for most people. So essentially, I have 2 parts for my IRL streaming. I have the main phone, which is what my viewers see. And this one has an ultra wide camera on it, which is why I use this iPhone 11. And that way my viewers can see almost everything when I'm streaming. When I bring my camera to take photos into view, they can see that and maybe what I'm taking a photo of. So that extra camera on there, very important for what I do as a POV, point of view street photographer. And that contains a modem, it contains everything basically that I need to stream. So I could use just this if I wanted to keep my kit really light. So iPhone, or maybe a decent Android with multiple cameras like this one might work. Okay, you are limited by battery life, so I want to keep that in mind, and also your mobile plan. Does it support what you want to do? How many hours are you going to stream? So you're going to have to calculate all of that because you don't want to run out of data like I did. Okay, don't do that. And then we got the second phone, and this one I use to listen to chat. There is an app called IRL Chat, and that acts like a TTS. So if you have a separate headset, you'll be able to hear what is happening, what people are typing in chat, and that way you'll cut down the amount of times you need to look at the second phone to see what's happening in chat, But I've set this one up so that I can at a glance look down and see chat, and also a preview of what chat can see with this phone. So I've got the main phone for streaming, and then the second one for chat, listening to chat, type in commands, because this one's going to be, well, you can't touch this one once you've started streaming, okay? So if you need to end the stream, start the stream, you can do that for this phone. The implementation part of that depends. You have to set some stuff up to do that, but this is what you use the second phone for, okay? So 2 phones. Next up, what I'll do is put things on as if I'm getting ready to stream. I have some Apple AirPods, the wired version, wrapped up inside of the scarf. So you'll be able to see it right here. Okay. Now I'm only using this for the microphone. I'm not using it for the headset. So the little headphones, headset part, it's just in there dangling around. And then the kind of center part where the 2 headsets connect, it contains the microphone. I've got a lapel mic clip holding that in there on the inside of the scarf. And that's just going to make sure that it's snug in there. You could probably use a hair clip or something else. I've got a couple of lapel mics just lying around. I'm not using those currently, so I thought let's just pop it in here for our IRL streaming. So there's another core part of our setup, is you want good audio. Bad audio can make a huge difference between a stream you want to watch and maybe passing going on to another stream. So we're going to have a kind of bad audio for a bit. Alright, unplugging the microphone. Now plugging in the charger. And I've got it wrapped up inside the scarf like this, the AirPods, so that we're going to cut down, eliminate as much wind noise as possible, maybe other noise, right? So we've got it inside of here. So I'll pull that out, inside of there. I'm going to hang that around my neck, and then I can feel the AirPods in this section. I'm going to act like it's a tie of sorts, right? So I know the AirPods are here. I'm going to grab this part of the scarf, going to wrap it over the top of where the AirPods are, and then underneath, up and over, okay? So we've got a couple of layers protecting our AirPods from wind noise, and that should cut out most of our wind noise and also look pretty presentable, right? You could go for plain scarf. I do have a grey one, I do have others, maybe a black scarf somewhere, but I like a bit of colour in your life. It's always good, right? And you'll have to alternate as well. So, you know, when you go check your scarf, go, it's time to wash that one, grab the other scarf. In hotter weather though, you might have to use something like a lighter material. Right, so we've got our audio sorted. I'm going to grab the chest mount that I've got here. Now this chest mount can be used with GoPros, but we're using it with a phone. I have a phone attachment on here, you may be able to see. These two didn't come together. I grabbed this phone mount from something else. Got a little latch on there. Press this button, close it, get a quick release sort of system, right? But sometimes what I want to do with my phone, the streaming phone, is pull it out, switch it into selfie mode, and then look at what's happening on the phone. You can see chat, which I'll talk about in maybe a later video. See what's happening, look into the camera, have a laugh, that sort of thing, you know? And these components I'm sure you could find on Amazon somewhere, a version of this, you know? One thing I like about this, got like a V shape. I'll put it on just to demonstrate. I've got a strap on this side and a strap on that side, and then they connect in the middle to the chest mount. Now what that does in terms of our scarf is it kind of fixes it in place so it doesn't move. So this part of the chest mount goes around the back, and then you just clip it together like so in the front. Okay, and now we've got our chest mount fixed. So we've got one part here, one part there. They're like suspenders, right? And they connect in the middle. The scarf's right here. We've got part of the scarf underneath, holding it all in place. So it's going to stop the microphone from rustling around. So it's not going to move. The audio should be pretty steady. And underneath, we have our cable. I am going to just pop that here. Next up, grab the iPhone, our main streaming camera, pop that into the harness, like so, fix it, pop it up, and then that's what I look like when I'm walking around the streets taking photos. I look like a madman, but you can't worry about that. Yeah, I've got this phone attached to my chest, and you will get funny looks. They go, oh, that guy's streaming. And then they'll have a laugh, and then they'll keep walking, and then completely forget about you. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Don't worry about what other people think of how you look or what you're doing. With it attached like this, I can look down, and you want to bend it down, you know, point it down a little bit, your phone, so you can see what's happening. You can check your composition, go, oh, okay, people can't see what I'm taking a photo of. I need to readjust this angle a bit. Okay, so just check every now and again, see what's happening down here. And you go, oh, okay, I'm a little bit off. Maybe I point this up, point this down a bit. Sometimes you might not want people to see what you're doing, like if you pull out a card, payment card, whatever, and you sort of point this in the other direction as you make a payment. So be mindful of things like that, because what people see here, they can see everything. And if you're worried about if you need to go to the bathroom, take a break, then the app that I'm using for that part of things It does have a pause mode, so you can put things on pause. Chat can't see what's happening, so you can go about your business, and then when you're ready to stream again, unpause, and then the stream will continue. So that is essentially what I have, and this is one part of my setup. Okay, because the signal from here needs to go somewhere else. Oh, I forgot. So we're not quite finished there, right? I have the Bluetooth headsets. So this goes on, and this kind of helps because people see you with these on, and then they'll think you're having a chat, a discussion with mum or whoever, right? They'll say, oh, okay, that guy's just on his phone talking. So you have these on. I think if you have louder looking ones like the AirPods or the earphones, ones like that, bright white, then people can see that they're in your ears. I like these ones in particular because it has this bit at the back, so that bit goes around your neck and fits there. So if one of these pops out, look, it's just dangling there, Whereas with these wireless AirPod type ones, if they pop out of your ear, they're on the ground or something, they're flying. So that's what I like about this. And this particular style or this brand of Bluetooth headset was actually kind of cheap. It's not the best audio. You have to really push them in to hear more bass, more range. But the quality of the audio of these doesn't really matter so much when it comes to IRL streaming. And then with the second phone, I have that in my pocket. I'll unlock it by looking at it. So I press the power button, it sees me unlock, so I don't have to do the pattern thing or whatever. And then I have a couple of apps that I use. The first one is called IRL Chat. I think I mentioned that earlier. And that's what I use to listen to chat. It will be set up to the Bluetooth headset so that when people type in a message, then that is sent to here. And basically, well, that's what my one looks like. I've got a preview window of my stream. I can use that to look down and see if I'm currently streaming. And at the moment, I'm offline, of course. But if I typed in my code to start streaming, then that will change that little preview window. And that code works through the software that I've got back home, which will start the stream, end the stream, go to BRB. So that's like a whole other part of this equation. Yeah, I would pop on a vest, a jacket, something else to go with this. I'm wearing a light colored shirt, white, so that you can see more of what I'm wearing. But usually I wear darker colors, like a dark gray, a light gray, or whatever, but not white like what I'm wearing here. But it just makes it easier for you to see what this looks like. But yeah, that's basically this part of my gear. And then the second one, we've got the Bluetooth headset to hear chat. Just wondering, have I missed anything else? Oh yeah, I also have a spin the wheel app, but this one helps me when it comes to having a goal, something to do when I'm out taking photos. So I'll spin this wheel on the app, and then that'll give me a challenge to do. So I'll need to take a photo in this particular way. Maybe it needs to be low to the ground, so that's my very next photo. So that's just a fun activity that chat can participate in. And try to think of things like that gets everyone involved. Because when I'm going out street photography, if I don't have a purpose, I could, not do anything, right, for an entire hour. But yeah, this way, it sort of keeps things going. There's some momentum, there's a purpose. We need to take this kind of photo for the next shot. But I think that's the gist of it. The second phone, Bluetooth, I can hear chat, I can look at chat on this phone. I've also got the chat on here that I can look down at if this phone isn't handy. I could kind of get a quick glance of what's happening down there. And of course, this all connects to my computer at home. And that part, I think that's going to be a separate video, how this connection works. But yeah, I thought a rough general overview of what I have here. But there's other bits and pieces for it all to work. Cool. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Catch you later.